I have powered on. Now if I open console, I'll see very small picture. To make it comfortable, I can increase the screen size. Okay, I made it 200%. I think it's visible better now. Okay, I can choose a language, time and currency format, keyboard type. So I can change these, but now I don't want to. I'll keep all defaults. Click next and click on install now. So this is installation, and this screen is very important. If I choose standard evaluation, I will not have any GUI. You mean there will be no desktop, nothing at all. I should select the one with desktop experience. Only then I will see GUI. Okay, I have data center and desktop experience. So standard evaluation will give me 180 days. If I choose data center, I'll get some 10 days and I should install a license. So standard evaluation is good enough for me. I'm clicking next. So you should go through this license agreement and it will take a day for you to understand the whole thing. Okay, for now I'll accept it. Next. So you have two options, upgrade or install Windows. Okay. So this upgrade is not what we are doing. We are doing installation. And we are choosing a disk which is 50 GB, which we have created. Now, if I click on next, it will do the rest. Giving more CPUs and RAM will speed up the installation, but you should have resources on your machine to do all that. So let me show you. I don't think I can make changes now. See, I can increase number of CPUs here and I can enable all these things. So after installation is over, I'll walk you through those. So how many of you have installed VirtualBox already? Anybody having issues installing VirtualBox? Okay, I'll take that as you guys are comfortable installing VirtualBox. And have you guys created a VM for Windows?
No, sir.
Okay, so I would suggest you guys to create a VM for Windows. And did you guys download ISO yesterday?
No, sir. I just installed a VM virtual box only.
Installing VirtualBox is good, but yesterday I have posted in Google Classroom a link from where you can download the ISO, right?
Yes, sir. In that it's showing so many versions of ISO, sir.
Yes. So you have to download Windows 2019, the default selection. Let me take you there. See, if I go into Google Classroom, so see, this one is already 2019. And if you click on this one, see, it is 2019 selected already. You just have to choose ISO and continue and start downloading. I would suggest you guys initiate this download if it is not affecting your bandwidth, if you have broadband and all that. If not, after class, you can do that. You can at least start, and once the download starts, you can cancel it so that you know that you have no issues in following. Okay, guys, if you are not talking, please be on mute. If you want to talk, unmute, talk, and then mute again. Otherwise, it will be difficult in your recording. You guys have to go through the recording later, right? So here I can configure a password for administrator. So is installing Windows difficult? Hmm. Guys, is installing Windows difficult?
Yes, sir. It's asking company name, company size.
All those things are normal. Okay, you can mention whatever details you want there. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So we are done with installing Windows. Now we have to do install guest editions. Okay, this part is done. This part we are gonna look at. Please pay attention, guys. Right now, you are seeing that this desktop is kind of zoomed, right? So I've made it 200% to be able to see, and there are few features which will not be working properly. And to make things work, I should have uh, guest editions installed. Okay, what is guest editions? It is nothing but VirtualBox drivers. Okay, so let me insert guest edition CD. Now, if I go into this PC, I will see guest editions. So if I open this, so this is a 64-bit, not a x86. X86 is 32-bit. Okay, this is a 64-bit. Just double click this one. Next, next, next. So just click on install. So after installing drivers, you have to reboot the machine. Okay, I'm clicking on finish. Now I'll reduce the view to 100%. Now, if we give it a minute, right, screen itself will change. So if I go into keyboard and press Control Alt Delete, I'll see this password screen. And let's give it a minute. Screen will automatically change. See, screen has automatically scaled to your screen size, but this display is too small. Screen resolution is too high for Windows. So how to fix that? It is very simple. You just have to right click and click on display settings. Here, scale and layout. See, resolution you can reduce, or you can reduce the text size. So 175 will be a good size. For my screen resolution, you can change according to your screen. See, I have 3360 by 2100. That's why I have changed. If you have smaller resolution, then you don't have to worry. So guys, are we good so far? Any questions? So install VirtualBox, download Windows ISO, create a new VM, mount Windows ISO and power on, install 2019, install guest editions. So do we have any questions on any of these points? Okay, I assume you have no.
Sir,
Go ahead.
sir, repeat all the things once, please, sir.
See, I'm showing all the things on screen. Install VirtualBox. You have any question in this one?
Yes, sir, I just installed a virtual box and didn't set up the virtual box, sir.
What do you mean by you did not set up VirtualBox?
I mean, I didn't do anything in that virtual box, sir. Just installed that only.
Huh. So after that, you have to download ISO.
Okay,
Okay. And you have to create a new VM.
okay.
Okay. After creating new VM, you have
So
to
how to
download it.
create new VM, sir?
Yesterday, I have shown it to you guys. Let me show it to you again. Click on this new, give it any name. Okay. And choose a location. And which version of is it Windows, Linux, which operating system, and which kind of Windows you want to install. And here is what is your memory size. Right now it says 2 GB. You want to reduce or increase, you can do it here. What is the hard disk size? Okay, create a new virtual hard disk. You can click on create. And what is that? VDI, these are different formats. I'm going with default. Dynamical allocation. And what is the size? You want 5 GB, 50 GB, reduce, increase, you can do it here. New EM is created. Now, if you want to mount ISO, click on settings, storage, go here, click on this icon, choose a disk from file. You have already downloaded ISO, right? You go there and choose the ISO. Click open. You have the ISO mounted. Okay, you should see it here. Okay, does it make sense?
Okay, sir.
So if you are deleting a VM, if you do remove only, then files will be there. If you do delete all files, it will delete the files also, whichever it has created. Okay, mount ISO, create a new VM, mount ISO and power on, install Windows 2019. Okay, and install guest editions. Are we clear? You have any questions? You want me to repeat anything? So I'll upload this video today. Go through it. If you have questions, we will discuss the same thing tomorrow. No problem. Okay. But it's your
Okay,
duty to
sir.
ask. If you don't ask me, I'll not know. So after installing Windows and after installing guest editions, which is nothing but your drivers, you should also do Windows updates. So how to install updates? There is a link which I will post. I think this is still loading. You have screenshots also. So hmm, yes. So installing updates, go into settings, updates and security, check for updates, and it will take some time and find some updates. And you will have, uh, I mean, after checking for updates, it will also install those updates. And once installation is done, there will be few updates in the sequence which would need a reboot. Okay, you click on restart now. It will do the installation and reboot. Is it a big deal? Shall we do it now?
Yes, sir.
Sir. Okay. Click on start settings. Update and security. Okay. So check for updates. So you have so many updates. So it is gonna download and install updates. Okay, so you can give it a little time. So after we go here, we clicked on check for updates. So it is downloading. After some time, it will need a reboot. You come here and click on reboot now. This is one option. Or let's practice this option if you want to install updates on Windows. Is it a big deal, guys? Not a big deal, right?
Yes, sir.
I will talk about one more small thing. Okay. So what is RDP? Do any of you know the full form of RDP? Guys, anybody? Full form of RDP?
Remote accessing.
Remote desktop. So assume this is a server which is running in my data center. Okay. Now this is my admin who is at a different branch or a home somewhere. Let's take office itself. So there is some office. Data center is somewhere else. This guy is sitting in this office. And he observed some issue with one server which is in data center. So he has to travel to this data center, go in, get access to the data center, go in and access this server and rectify an issue. This is one approach. Other approach is he has a laptop. So let it be laptop or a desktop. He has a laptop and he somehow connects to this server remotely, accesses this server and rectifies the issue. Which is a better approach, guys?
Remote access.
Remote access. So if I have to access this machine remotely, this server and this laptop need to talk over a protocol. You have multiple options for this remote access. So in Windows, the native Windows protocol is RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol. Okay. If you want this RDP to work, you should first enable on server, right? Without enabling, RDP will not work. Okay, how to enable remote desktop in Windows 2019. So allowing remote desktop with the GUI. What are the steps? Again, click on Start, Server Manager. In Server Manager, remote desktop is disabled. You click on this one. You have remote. Don't allow remote desktop connection on this computer will be selected. You choose allow. Allow connections only if computer running remote desktop and network level authentication recommended. So this second option I will explain later. Say allow remote desktop connections to this computer is selected. And say OK. Now RDP is enabled. Do we understand so far? Is it a big deal? Start Server Manager. Click on this blue link. Say allow. OK, that's all. It will be enabled. Now we will talk about this check mark. Allow connections only from computer running remote desktop with network level authentication. If you enable this, there is a concept called domain. We will talk about it. But say there is one domain. There is one server. And there is one client. This server will be part of domain. And this client is not part of domain. This guy is trying to authenticate. Then this will not be allowed. But say there is one more client who is part of this domain. He is trying to connect to this server. Now this is allowed. Do you understand this, guys? Allow connections only from computers running remote desktop with network level authentication. Do you understand this? Yes, no? Do you want me to repeat?
Sir, what is the
Once
domain, sir?
repeat, sir.
So, domain is coming. I'll not go deep into domain. Say, assume that it is a group where everybody is part of that group. Okay, so assume there is a apartment and there is a swimming pool in the apartment. I don't stay in the apartment. Can I go and use that swimming pool? Yes, no.
No, sir.
Okay, but you stay in the apartment. Can you go and use that swimming pool?
Yes.
Right? So assume this server belongs to this domain and this client belongs to this domain. So assume that these two are in the apartment and this guy can go and use the server. But this guy doesn't stay in the domain. He is some outsider. He will not have access to this server. For now, think that way. I'll talk about domain and all that in detail. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if I check this, then this will be the behavior. If I uncheck this, then what will be the behavior? If I uncheck that checkbox, both are allowed. Okay. Does it make sense, guys?
Okay, sir.
You have any question on this one? Okay, let's
Sir,
enable our
RDP,
yeah.
sir, RDP and IPM
Yes.
both are same, right, sir?
RDP and
IPMI. In VM, we'll learn
IP.
IDRAC, IPMI.
No, that's different. That is baseboard management. So this is operating system level access. That is hardware level access. So it is almost similar, but let me explain. So I'm using vendor neutral term, which is baseboard management. Okay, examples are ILO, IDRAC, KVM, so many things are there. So if you want to use this, say if you have a server, there will be a chip BBM chip and there is a Ethernet port on this BBM. There will be a cable connected to this one and from BIOS you will log into this BBM and configure an IP. This user will use this port and the configuration to connect to this hardware and he will be able to do all the configurations on this machine. Okay. You don't need OS installed on this to access this hardware. This is baseboard management. Now RDP. So this is a server and I have installed OS on this one. So let this have BBM or no BBM, it doesn't matter. So I have installed OS and I have enabled RDP on this one. Now, if I have a user, he will go through regular NIC and connect to this RDP service. Does it make sense? This is all software based. OS should be running and RDP service should be online for this user to connect. Here, if you don't have any applications, no OS also, this admin can connect to this server. Does it make sense? So to keep it simple, let's say there is a shopping mall and this is a counter in the shopping mall. If shopping mall is closed, this counter will not be accessible. But this is a shop which is independent. So if there is a big street and you have 10 shops, 20 shops, whatever it is, if all 10 shops are closed and this shop is open, you can go and still access this one. This is not a shopping mall. Okay. Yes, no. I know it's a weird example, but you should have this OS running and RDP enabled, only then you can connect to this. This doesn't need OS. This has no dependency on OS. So updates are still going on. Let's configure RDP. Server manager. Here, if I go into local server, RDP is enabled already, but assume it is okay. Remote management, remote desktop is disabled. We will click on this and you see this is disabled. I'll click on this and if I want this one, I will let it be there. If I don't want, I will uncheck. And one more important thing is local administrator is already there in the list. If you want some other user also to access, you should add that user for the RDP accessible list. Okay. We will see all this later in detail. So how difficult is enabling RDP? So it doesn't show enabled. If I do a refresh, it will show up again. Okay, so it is enabled. Are we clear with RDP? Any questions? Okay, we have 10 minutes, so let me quickly finish one more thing. So this is also the same link, installing updates. I think I will remove this one. I don't want duplication. So remote desktop client walkthrough, we will talk about it. IE enhancements and security configuration, enable and disable. BG info. So BG info we will touch later. RDP we will walk through right now. See, this is RDP client. Okay, here if you mention some machine's IP and click on connect, it will ask you for credentials, you will connect. That is general view. But if you click on show options, it will give you more information. So you can mention username also here. You can save this configuration as a file somewhere. You can choose the display size. You can say what kind of resolution you want. Okay, you can choose full screen and what kind of colors you want. Resources, remote audio. You want audio playback on this computer. Do not play on remote computer. See, this computer means wherever RDP client is. Remote computer means RDP server. Okay, whatever machine I am connecting to, that's a remote machine. This laptop is this computer. Okay, record from this computer, do not record. And key combinations on this computer, on remote computer, only while using full screen. This will apply on remote computer. All those kind of things. And local devices, printers, clipboard. Say if you have this clipboard enabled, only then you will be able to copy paste between your local machine and RDP. If you have this unchecked, copy paste will not work. Okay. And you have drives. Say my C drive should be presented on my RDP screen so that I can copy paste few files and all that. So all those things I can do. And should it automatically detect, or you want to choose what kind of connection you have? Based on that, it will configure things. Say modem, very less, low speed broadband, visual style is visible, satellite, it is giving you desktop composition and visual style. Like that, in different things you will have different things enabled. So you don't have to worry about it. You can say detect connection quality automatically. That should take care of things. So these are other settings which you normally will not use. Say you have any authentication server, all these will be special things which you configure if your organization needs those. Okay. So connect from anywhere and all these kind of things. Okay, you will get to know those soon. So that is walkthrough of RDP client. So IE enhancement, this is also simple. You see IE enhancement security configuration is on. This is on by default. Problem with that is, say if I open my IE, I want to go to google.com, simplest site possible. See, it is asking permissions for everything. See, enhanced security configuration. So this is blocked. To continue, I have to add it to my trusted websites. Okay. And there is something called stats and all these kind of services which run in the background by Google. So each and everything should be enabled, and this is going to be pain for you if you want to browse things. Okay. But it is very important for restricted networks and servers. You should know what is happening on each and every service. Okay, such things it is fine, but say if you are doing it in lab environment, you don't want this IE to bother you so much, then you can come here and turn off for administrators and users you want to run, or you want to turn off for users also. That's up to you. If you do this, it is turned off. Now, see, without, okay, maybe I should close and reopen. See, everything is good. Say if I want to download, it will take me there. I can click on download Chrome. Run. Everything is going smooth without warnings. Okay, I'll upload this video in some time. Yesterday's video I have not uploaded because nothing was working and we didn't do much. Okay, so I'll upload this video in little time. I would suggest you guys to go through all this and perform these tasks. Okay, any questions, guys? Okay, if there are no questions, let's again meet tomorrow. Tomorrow is last day for this 8 to 9. From day after, we will connect by 6:30, 6:40, 6:30 till 8. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye, guys.